I am on page 32, and this is talking about using mental strategies to add and subtract 10 or 100. If you have taken the time to watch all of my videos up to this point, this should come to you pretty easily. If you have not watched them all, you may struggle a little bit here, or you may not. You may do just fine. But let's tackle this page and see what we've got. Mental math is when we compute in our heads instead of using paper or a calculator. We can use mental math strategies to add and subtract 10 and 100 from different numbers. Place value is the value of a digit based on its position in a number. Consider the place values in 247. You have a 2 in the hundreds place, or 200, a 4 in the tens place, or 40, and a 7 in the ones place for a value of 7. And let me just remind you, we're talking about flats, rods, and cubes. The value of the 2 is 200 because it is in the hundreds place. The value of the 4 is 40 because it is in the tens place. The value of the 7 is 7 because it is in the ones place. Understanding place value helps to add and subtract 10 and 100 mentally. In other words, we are subtracting rods and flats mentally. Adding and subtracting 10. When adding and subtracting 10 from a number, only the tens place changes. To add 10, the tens digit will increase by 1. To subtract 10, the tens digit decreases by 1. For example, add 423 plus 10. Now they do a great job explaining, but I'm going to just zero in right here. We know from much practice that this is 1 rod. And we know that rods go in this column. We're adding a rod to that column. So that means that we're going to increase that to a 3, and that's our answer. 423. You are adding 1 rod. And that's what they show you here as well. 423 becomes 433. That's the answer. There's the answer. Okay, let's apply the same strategy to decrease by 10. So 423 minus 10. So let's put it in perspective again. This is 1 rod. And the rods column is right here. But this time we're decreasing by a rod. So this will come down 1 rod to get 413 as your final answer. Okay, and sure enough, there is our final answer. Adding and subtracting 100. When adding and subtracting 100 from a number, only the hundreds place changes. And these are the flats. To add 100, the hundreds digit increases by 1. And to subtract 100, the 100 digit decreases by 1. So let's practice this one. We have 541 plus 100. So I'm going to zoom in here. And I know that this is one flat, not a rod. It's a flat this time. So it's going to be this column, and we're increasing it by 1. So this will come up to a 6, and that's the only place that changes. 641 is your answer. Here I have 541 minus a flat. So there's the flat. And I know that my flats are in this column. And this time we're taking 1 away. So that will come down to a 4. And you have 441 as your answer. So you don't need a calculator. You're just doing it mentally, literally in your head. Number 1 as the test example. What is the value of 735 minus 100? Use mental math strategies to simplify. So here's what we need to think. We know that this is one flat, and we're dropping by one flat. We're decreasing. So this drops one flat, and there's my final answer. 635, or option D as in dog. Hint: when adding or subtracting 10, look only at the tens place. When adding or subtracting 100, look only at the hundreds place or the flats place. So let's practice. What is the value of 780 minus a rod? So the rod's place is right here. And we're taking, let me do that in a little bit brighter color. We're taking away a rod. So 780 taking away a rod is going to be B as in boy. What is the value of 520 plus a flat? So the flat place is here, and we're adding 1. That would put us up to 620. What is the missing value? Something plus a rod is 732. Well, if I added a rod, that means that originally I had 722, because I would take this rod and add a rod to it to get 732. That's an algebra question. The answer you want is B, 722. Number 4 is a word problem. Garcelle has 416 stamps in a collection. She gives away 10 stamps at a local collector's convention. How many stamps does she have left? If you know the word left, you know that you're subtracting. And so let's look at our numbers. Also, the concept of giving away something is going to be subtraction. So 416 minus 10. So that's 416 minus a rod. The rod is in this place. Let me highlight that in pink. Right there's the rod. If you take that rod away, you're left with no rods, or 406 stamps. And that's answer B as in boy. A farmer picked 173 apples on Monday. He picked 100 more on Tuesday. How many apples did the farmer pick on Tuesday? Be careful with this one. It's a little bit misleading to me in the reading. He did not pick 100 apples on Tuesday. He picked 100 more apples on Tuesday. And that word more means to add. So we want to take these two amounts and add them. So I have 173 plus a flat. Okay, there's the flat. And the flat's place is right there. So we're going to add to that to get 273 apples. I don't like that question. To me, it's not worded correctly, but maybe it's just me. But you would want to choose D as in dog.